freaking first cut. Golly.
Welcome to the First Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman, and this is your round one recap for this week's Memorial. Joining me to break it all down, Patrick McDonald is here. Patrick, good day.
Rick, a rare Thursday date for us. I kind of like it. And, Muirfield Village was looking pristine today. I believe Jordan Spieth just said to expect chaos over the next 54 holes with no rain in sight, which is a true rarity for this tournament, it feels like. And the first 18 holes were great.
Pristine and spicy. That afternoon wave got the brunt of it here, Patrick. 2 shots more difficult in the afternoon than it was in the morning. Any moisture at all that is in this golf course, you're getting it in the morning, and then it just firms up, bakes out, and with little reprieve in sight, they can make this thing as fast as they want. It depends how much water they want to put on it.
Exactly. And I think some of the morning guys like Jordan Spieth, who we'll definitely get to, will be licking his chops a little bit, getting out there on the course tomorrow with a little bit more moisture. And hopefully the wind's a little bit less windy.
Well, that's right. The winds will hopefully be less windy. What does the wind do? I guess the wind can do a lot of things. It can blow, it can gust, it can swirl. What else can wind do?
I like swirl. That's typically my order at Dairy Queen. But gust, swirl, lie down.
It can lie down.
Switch.
It can stiffen.
Okay.
It
Die
can
down,
howl.
yeah. Producer Josh. How? That's a good one.
That's from Alec in the chat.
Like rip. It could, or whip. The wind's whipping right now.
Oh, it can whip. Whip. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I think in some of those corners, like on 9 in particular, that wet shot down the hill, I believe that's a swirling situation.
When you get your, what is it called from Dairy Queen?
A swirl.
Oh, what's the thing that they, blizzard is what they hand to you upside down, right?
Yeah, I get the dunk in the chocolate, but the swirled.
Sharp stuff.
Yeah.
Not as sharp as Wyndham Clark, though, who was right back at it again. 2 under 70. He went out early. A lot of these decent rounds came in the morning, and coming off that miscut the PGA Championship, Wyndham Clark picked up right where he left off this season. 3 birdies on his outward 9. That's a 33. He gives 1 back on his second 9, but he will be at 2 under par inside the top 10 for the moment, and likely heading into Friday's second round.
Coming into the week, I honestly didn't love Wyndham Clark's chances. I think I bet against him in one of our matchups. But the key for him was really he hit 10 fairways. So really accurate off the tee for Wyndham Clark. And you combine that with what has been really solid approach play this entire season and the way he can roll the rock. I think he gained almost 3 strokes on the green. So you combine all that with his distance as well. It makes a lot of sense. A course like Quail Hollow is one that rewards really strong drivers, and Muirfield Village has often been described as a second shot golf course by a lot of these players. And he was setting himself up for those second shots. So it'll be interesting if he can keep up the accuracy off the tee, but he just proved a few weeks ago that he can take down a field of this caliber. Granted, it was without Jon Rahm and Scottie Scheffler, so he has to deal with those 2 guys, unlike Quail Hollow. But he's proving that he belongs kind of in that top 25 conversation.
2 under par for Wyndham Clark, 1 better for the resilient Canadian Adam Hadwin, who started his day with back-to-back bogeys on 1 and 2. While this is a difficult golf course, you certainly could get discouraged making 2 bogeys right out of the gate, but he was able to get even by the time he made the turn, Patrick, and then plays a bogey-free 33 on his second 9 to get in at 3 under, which right now is in a tie for third.
Has he grown the lettuce out a little bit?
Yeah, that's a pretty decent flow. And I ask Josh this like every day, and he tells me like that picture's from today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's a good flow. It's hockey season. It's the Stanley Cup playoffs, brother.
It is. Your Las Vegas Knights, obviously.
Go Knights.
You gonna go to a game?
No.
Okay.
I mean, like if someone wants to give me tickets, I'll go. I just don't foresee I don't see me opening up my wallet and purchasing Stanley Cup tickets.
Do you know how much they're running? They got to be pretty insane for Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas is like, they love that team. And we've gone to a couple games, and it's awesome. I imagine that it's not cheap.
Okay. But back to the Desert Fox, who has, I like the touch of gray in the beard. It kind of reminds me of, some like puppies and dogs, like black labs have a little touch of gray by their mouth. It reminds me of it a little bit. But for Hadwin, you don't really think about Muirfield Village as a plotter's golf course, but Hadwin's found a lot of success at these shorter golf courses, and he hit only 6 fairways, but his irons were red hot. He hit 5 shots that gained more than half a stroke with his irons today. He ranked 3rd in approach, I want to say. So you combine all that together, and it makes a lot of sense that he's 3 under. I'm not too sure how much staying power he has. We've seen him in contention, I want to say, in Scottsdale, go to this magnitude, where he got into the weekend, looked decent, but ultimately fell off the pace, I think, over the last 18 or 27 holes. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's a similar situation for him this time too.
Yeah, he kind of did the Adam Hadwin thing, like get hot with your irons and your putter, and you just wonder how sustainable that is for the final 3 days. But keep an eye on him moving forward. I'm on a secondary ticketing site that will not be named. You can get into game 1 for $300, but there's only like 4 total tickets available. Anything after that's like $450 to get in.
That's not horrible. That's really not too bad for a Stanley Cup game. I went to a Penguin. I mean, granted, it was Penguins at Capitals game 7 for around that price.
Lower level looks to be 800 and up.
Okay.
Which, listen, I like hockey. I like the Golden Knights. I'm not.
Don't love it.
No. Matt Wallace, loved the way he played around Muirfield Village today. A 4 under 68, which even included, Patrick, a bogey on 18, which was the hardest hole of the day, thanks to an absolutely pristine 31 going out. Wallace, believe it or not, people might forget this, already has a win this year. Kind of swept that one under the rug, but he's finding his form here at least through 18 holes.
And the win did not come with any major championship exemptions, I believe.
It did not, because it was Punta Cana. Yes, it was Punta Cana. Yeah.
So he still has a lot to play for. And this is a guy who's been around for a while. I mean, I believe he had 3 wins on a DP World Tour one season. And he even said after his round today that he's still waiting for his Tiger moment, his like hello world moment, where he wants to have one of these like just big time moments where it's his entrance into the big stage, and he's hoping it's this week. And yeah, I mean, you shoot 5 under on the front 9 here, kind of hold on for dear life. The only difference really between the 2 9s, he made a lot of putts on the front, obviously did not make as many on the back, but the approach play was still pretty sound. And yeah, I don't know if Matt Wallace can win in this field. I think it's a great first round, but we see this all the time. We just talked about it with Adam Hadwin, where guys just get off to hot starts. That's the nature of Thursdays. And then you get a little leaderboard gravity going into the weekend. And he might be a victim of that, especially off in the afternoon tomorrow, where the course will be a little spicier.
You know how many guys are waiting for their Tiger Woods moment? Like all but Tiger.
A few.
just a few. Very strange. I'm looking at his season. So Matt Wallace has played. This is his 20th event. He has a win. He's only made $1.2 million in this economy, in this new PGA Tour economy. To play 20 times, have a win, and have only made 1.3 million because he's missed, let's see, 5 of his last 6 cuts. He'd missed more than half his cuts prior to the win. He basically has only played two good weeks. He had a T7 at Valspar, and he won the next week. That is it. He has no other top 20s.
That's got to be around tour average with a win.
What's that, 1.3?
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably is.
So that's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird year.
Yeah.
Let's see who else we got here. Oh, Jon Rahm, I've heard of him. 2 under for Rombo. And by the way, he was wearing the same shirt today that one right there that I wore yesterday. So obviously he must have seen that on the pod. Big fan. Out in 36, makes 3 birdies coming in, offset with 1 bogey. It is 34 on that 9. Count them all up, 70, 2 under par.
It was really a masterclass how to play this golf course. Outside the hiccup around the turn there, it was very stress-free, gave himself a ton of looks from 10 to 20 feet, stuffed one in there on 17 as well. I believe the scorecard is flipped on the screen.
Yeah, he started on the back.
Yeah, so he birdied 17 to get to 1 under, and then bogeyed 18 and bogeyed 1, and then caught a little heat on the front side. Missed a putt there on 9 to get to 3 under, I think from like 11 feet, a little slider. But I mean, it's Jon Rahm at Muirfield Village. He loves this golf course after hating this golf course. I don't know if you caught that. He said in his presser that once he like missed the cut when he was in college or something, he didn't like it, had a decent first start as a pro. And his caddy, Adam Hayes, was like, no, dude, this golf course is going to be perfect for you. And he's like, yeah, so I kind of bought into that, and it happened to be pretty perfect for me. So it was just impressive. And you have him in 2 weeks, US Open, California. He's pretty damn good in that state. It's setting up for another major championship run for him. His 5th win of the season is going to be on the horizon. I believe he's the betting favorite currently. Oof. And he did it all while losing strokes. I think he lost around 1 stroke putting today.
Yeah, 2nd off the tee, 9th on approach, 38th, basically even around the green. And then he did lose a stroke with the flat stick. So Patrick is absolutely correct there. We will round out the morning wave with Homeless Hubs, Mark Hubbard, who shot 3 under 69. But boy, put Josh to work on the graphic here. Let's count them. 4 birdies on his first 9. Then another 3 on his second 9, but 4 bogeys, including bogeys on all 16, 17, and 18. Still cards of 69.
Yeah, that closing stretch is going to be very interesting to watch, this weekend. And he obviously felt the full wrath of it. In 16 in particular, they added a new tee this year, and they weren't even playing from it. But a lot of players were not too happy with it. I'll just say that they don't believe that hole should play that long. And then you added another one on 17. So this year you're going to be seeing a lot of guys take driver, as opposed to, it was a lot of 3 woods and irons the previous years to kind of avoid those bunkers, but a lot of guys can hit driver and still be short of those bunkers. So it's something to keep an eye on. And then 18 is obviously a difficult driving hole as well. So he felt the full wrath of it. It's a similar situation with Hadwin and Wallace, unfortunately, where I just don't see him sticking around and contending in this tournament, but he obviously got off to a great start.
So there are, at this moment, there's still some guys out on the golf course. At this moment, there are 5 holes that are playing basically a third of a stroke over par or more difficult. So there's 5 holes. 16, 17, and 18 are 3 of them. And number 1 is a 4th. So if you start on 10, you will play 4 of the 5 most difficult holes in order. You'll play 16, 17, 18, make the turn, play number 1. That's a gauntlet.
The back 9 in general is really tough.
Yeah.
I mean, 10's a tough hole. I think it had to have been playing downwind today. Some of those guys had like sand wedges into that hole late. I think like Fitzpatrick did. Rory had a gap wedge. I know that. So I'm thinking that's the way the wind was blowing. And then 12 is a tough par 3 with that pin. Today was kind of sucker-ish on the front left, and 13 and 14 are tough holes too. So it's really just the whole backside. You gotta take your medicine on these par 4s and par 3s and take advantage of the par 5s, because 15 today was playing super easy. It felt like there was an equal chance every other group.
I lied. One more. Scottie Scheffler, 2 over par 74, in which he lost over 3 strokes with the flat stick. I don't know how early you were up, Patrick, if you laid eyes on Scottie on the featured group coverage. I saw most of it, and it was not good with that. Dude, the putter is just atrociously bad.
It's really bad. And I don't know if you caught this tidbit. I believe Michael Collins was following the group. He was the on-course guy today. He said on Wednesday his putter broke, and so he was with the Scotty Cameron team and needed to get a new putter in the bag that fit the specs. I'm guessing it didn't exactly.
Just blow it up. Don't try to get the same. Just do something different.
Well, he tried something different at the CJ Cup. Remember that? He put kind of that same putter JT has in the bag, and that's the last time he finished outside the top 12.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah,
no, I didn't hear that actually. That's interesting.
Yeah, so that happened yesterday, and then it doesn't help that he loses 3 strokes today. I don't think he made a putt longer than 5 feet 11 inches. And what's your concern level with his putter?
I mean,
Just
not really. I think the putter is it's almost just like gravy at this point, right?
Mhm.
It's just like, okay, if he's going to be a 0, if he's going to gain a stroke, like cool, just hand him the trophy. But I guess from like a larger macro concern, the fact that one of the best players, if not the best player in the world for like a year, hasn't really been able to find anything. And if you remember, when he went on that like 4 wins and 6 start stretch, I mean, there was like a prolonged 6 months where he was a putting fool, and he was gaining like 3 or 4 strokes with the flat stick. And we knew that was going to come down, but to have it flip this much, I suppose, is a little bit concerning. And if he wasn't so good everywhere else, it would be much more apparent.
Yeah, I kind of look back to Jon Rahm's 2022, where he began and he just could not make anything at all. And then he found something at the BMW Championship, and he just went on that tear, and he kind of carried it into this late winter as well, and dominated that 6 month on the European Tour as well as the PGA Tour. So it really just comes and goes with these guys, and it could be something as simple as a setup. But I think Todd Lewis or Rex Hoggard tweeted out that Scottie was very much on the putting green after today's round.
I believe that. All right. We will get to the afternoon wave, some big boppers over there, including a pair of guys who, boy, made a mess of 18. But first, we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners.
Said I'm fired up. I'm sorry your time's up. I see the time up. Came from the ashes, I rise up.
And we're back. Notables. I'm not even going to waste our oxygen here. Patrick Cantlay was 1 under 71. It was very, very boring. He made 2 birdies and 1 bogey. We can move on. He's in a tie for 17th. Rory McIlroy was looking like that dude for 17 holes today, Patrick, because he was 3 under par, standing on the 18th tee before he promptly made a triple bogey to give back all the hard work and cards and even par 72.
Yeah, it's got to be. I don't know where Rory is mentally at this point, but I feel like this is something that could potentially affect him for the remainder of the tournament. He's always been a guy to play on momentum, and it seemed like he had all the momentum in the world before. Really, that drive on 18, he got screwed with the baseball stance, and then
he drew a very unlucky. Listen, he missed the fairway, so you bring in whatever, but it was up against the side wall of the bunker. He's got 1 foot. The ball's waist high. He's got 1 foot, 18 inches above the other, and he just kind of knocks it forward a little bit, and then he misses long, which is like the worst place to be, and just compounds itself.
Exactly. And Jordan Spieth hit a pretty similar drive, was in the fairway bunker, ended up making bogey. So it was really a 2-shot penalty at the end of the day. He had to kind of misread the lie for his third.
Yeah.
Launched it long and had an impossible chip and did make a little bit of a mess. But the thing for Rory McIlroy is he came into this week, it's his most inaccurate year off the tee of his career. He is struggling to find the fairways. He found 10 fairways today. And obviously the 4th missed fairway was pretty penalizing. But outside that, it was a really nice round. He had some loose wedge swings in there, but he was able to overcome those, took advantage of the par 5s on the back 9, which you have to do, and hit some really, really good iron shots. You think about the one into 8. That was really nice. The one into 16 as well, where he failed to capitalize with the 5-foot birdie bid that would have tied him for the lead with Matt Wallace at the time. So I see a lot of encouraging signs from today's round, despite the triple bogey. And yeah, it was really the driver. If he puts it in play, the rest of his game is sharp enough to, still compete with these guys, obviously.
Obviously. Rory McIlroy, even par 72. Jordan Spieth was bogey free until he got to 18. He hit into that fairway bunker and actually caught the lip, did not get it out clean. Was able to salvage a bogey there. After his round, I don't have the exact quote, Patrick, but he was asked about his wrist, and it was essentially him just saying, yeah, if I didn't feel good, I wouldn't be here. I'm taping it up just in case there's like a really weird, awkward one, but he did not really give off any vibes of super injury concern.
I think he's fine. And he finally disclosed the reasoning behind it, the cause of the injury.
What did he say?
He was playing with Sammy, his son, and he kind of jammed it.
I know it.
But this was, I don't want to say vintage Spieth, but it was a very slimy round. Like he was kind of ish all over the place. I think he only hit like 8 greens in regulation. Yeah, something like that. And then you look up and he makes a birdie on, was 17 playing the most difficult today?
It was close. It was there's like 16, 17, 18 are all within like 300ths of a stroke of each other. So those are the 3 hardest holes.
Yeah, you see him go left of the pin on 17, which no one was doing all day. And then he makes a putt, and it's like, oh, Jordan Spieth's tied for the lead. What the hell just happened? And
slimy.
It was an extremely slimy round, but that's just been kind of Jordan Spieth's whole career when you think about it. But he's got to improve definitely with some of his approach play. He got, that birdie on 10 from the bunker, that was slimy. A par save on 13, I believe. Maybe slimier. So he's got something to do, but it's weird. Like his iron play, his ball striking has been fine these past couple of weeks when, Mr. Colonial just couldn't make anything on the greens, was kind of poor around the green. Just drove the ball great at Oak Hill. I think it was top 4 and off the tee that week behind only like Cantlay, Bryson, and someone else, maybe Victor. So the pieces are there for him. And this has been a pretty comfortable spot for him. He played well here, even when he was down in the dumps during that stretch. So I'm kind of scared of him at this point. He could do anything. If Jordan Spieth is expecting chaos over the next 54 holes, you just got to buckle the hell up.
I love it. While we've been potting, Davis Riley has been working his way, matriculating his way up the leaderboard, and he has successfully overtaken Matt Wallace in the number 1 slot of said leaderboard, a 5 under 67, Patrick, that was highlighted by 4 birdies in his final 7 holes. So he played his second 9 in 32 strokes. Riley's also kind of had a weird year. He's got that win with Nick Hardy at the Zurich Classic, but otherwise it also hasn't been great. So off to a solid start here. Statistically, was phenomenal on approach, second in strokes gained on approach, first from tee to green. So maybe a little bit of, maybe found something today.
He is a certified flusher. Some of the best action on the PGA Tour. And as an added bonus, he'll be able to go out early on that front side tomorrow and try to extend that lead before some of the big boys get going. So his start tomorrow is going to be very interesting and I think very key heading into the weekend.
All right. Well, let's look at the betting favorites after almost 18 full holes for everybody in the field. No surprise, Jon Rahm, plus 410. Those are the shortest odds. Patrick Cantlay at 675. Those are the 2 golfers in single digits. Jordan Spieth at 11-1. Victor Hovland at 14. Then you just got a bunch of names between 16 and 18-1. Patrick, it's kind of take your pick. Is there anybody that stands out to you here that might be worth a little bit of a sprinkle on this Thursday night?
It's our boy. We're getting above water this week, Rick. Colin Morikawa was going to win this tournament. I loved the way he hit his irons today. My God, he gave himself a look what seemed like every hole. And even though the putter was bad on paper, where it did pass the test?
Your eyeballs.
Oh, yeah. He brought in JJ for a lot of putts. He's a great green reader. He needs to utilize him more often. He was just a hair off on some speed, but the stroke looked really good. I think the ball started on the line he intended to. The majority of the time, I would say 100% of the time. I don't want to, hyperbolize here, but
no, you would never do such a thing.
I wouldn't. And that's why I would say Colin Morikawa 18-1. I'd make him -110 at this point, the way he struck his approach play.
Yeah, I don't see why not. First in strokes gained approach, which is always a welcome sign for Colin Morikawa. I'll tell you what, I was getting a lot of data work done today, so I had it on mute, but I was watching early. Then I took a little bit of a break. I mean, he was 2 over through 11 holes. And when I checked back like an hour later and he rattled off, 3 birdies in his next 4, I was like, okay, here we go. Find a little bit of magic. He is, by the way, my one and done selection this week. So I'm rooting for old Seymour here. How come that never catches on Seymour?
We'll whiteboard that one. We'll put that one on the back burner. I don't know. We might have to field that one out. Seymour.
Yeah, he needs a cool. More golfers need cool nicknames.
Yeah, Seymour Butts. There you go.
Seymour Butts. Yeah.
Yeah.
See if he can take my call. All right. Well, I think that'll do it. Unless I've missed anything, Patrick. You've been having your finger on the pulse all day. Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't have too much. No, I just got to finish up this round 1 gamer, and then I'm off to dinner.
Oh, what are you having?
Italian night.
Nice.
Love me some Italian.
Nice. Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enjoy. We'll be back Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night for all your post-round recaps. Big thanks, producer Josh does all the hard work behind the scenes. Patrick McDonald, available on Twitter, amateur status, and available at your local Italian restaurant. If you see him, go up to his table. He certainly won't mind. Say hello, introduce yourself. You can find me at Rick Run Good. This has been The First Cut. We'll catch you next time.